Grammy nominees are out. Let's talk Best Contemporary Blues Album. Here are the nominees. We've got Samantha Fish and Jesse Dayton, Death Wish Blues, Ruthie Foster, Healing Time, Christone, Kingfish, Ingram, Live in London, Larkin Poe, Blood Harmony, and Bettye LaVette. Willie, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, quick, immediate response is I am happy that Jesse and Samantha got a look. And I'd be even happier if they took the award because, when we talk about, because there's a traditional blues category as well, the contemporary blues, I think that album, Death Wish Blues, has a lot of different looks to what the blues can be. It's certainly very far away from what people would consider straightforward blues. And I think that is what, to me, makes it the front runner in this category. All of the albums are good. Larkin Poe, I like their album as well. I don't know if it has quite the staying power. It's solid throughout. I think you'd agree. But the bigger thing, Pete, is I want to know how you feel about, because at Blues Rock Review, we keep live albums in their own category when we do our end of the year lists and reviews. And I think there's a certain reason for that. Do you find it a little bit strange that a live album is nominated in this category?
I was a little surprised, and I guess the reason I was really surprised at first, Willie, was because this was a surprise album, Kingfish Live in London. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of promotion. All of a sudden, just one day, this album was released and it was here. And so I was a little surprised to see a live album. However, listening to this album, I believe this is the best Kingfish album so far, even though it does feature obviously a lot of tracks on his studio albums. However, you have a couple new tracks. You got Midnight Heat, that new single. But overall, Kingfish, to really experience Kingfish, you need to see him live. So, surprised a little bit just because I wasn't expecting a live album to be nominated. However, I think it's very good. With us here at Blues Rock Review, every year we do our top 20 albums of the year. That's always studio albums, and we put live albums in their own category. They get their own list.
Yeah.
Because like you said, a lot of those songs that are on the live album, they've already been released on studio albums. So most of the time, you're not getting a whole lot of new material. And so if you're kind of having them compete, I do like having, your studio albums over here, your live albums over here. But I do think it's a great album. I think Kingfish is very deserving. This is his third Grammy nomination.
I know.
As far as Samantha Fish and Jesse Dayton go, I know you were super high on this album when it came out. And
still am.
Yeah, speaking to your point, I don't think, Jesse Dayton and Samantha Fish, neither one of them are what I would call straight up blues artists. Mm-hmm. But both of them were definitely heavily influenced by the blues, and taking the genre and pushing the boundaries and going in different directions. They definitely do that with this album. So when you're talking best contemporary blues album, I think that one also makes a very, very strong case.
Yeah. I guess what I'd ask you, and I'll lead in with this, nothing against the other nominees. I would like to see that album win. I think the album itself is deserving, full stop. But I also think it's good for the category of contemporary blues because of its diversity and its sonic range and the different ideas they throw out there. So, Pete, that's who I'd like to win. I don't think Kingfish will win again, but I think that any one of the other four besides Kingfish has a shot to win. And I know that's a cop-out.
Why don't you feel Kingfish will win?
I feel that we've spoken about this with award shows. In a perfect world, people go.
Because he won a
vote,
Grammy already,
and that's why I'm thinking he doesn't win this other one.
I think it would actually work in his favor.
Okay, that's interesting.
The fact that he's already won one.
I think sometimes people, like especially the Grammys, if you look at their history, I think there's a lot of people are taking into account. Maybe, like this person or this artist has already had their turn, or, it's an artist that was once really, really in his prime, his or her prime 30 years ago. and they never won an award, and then they win an award for an album that I think that most people would think isn't their best, or something to that effect. I don't know, Pete. Maybe I'm wrong in looking at it that way, but I guess what I want to know, Pete, is who would you like to see win, and who do you think will win?
Well, my prediction is definitely Kingfish.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
I think right now, if you just look at what he's done the last couple of years, I mean, he's just absolutely on fire right now. You know, he already won the Grammy. You know, he just played Crossroads. He just appeared in a new like national TV commercial.
Yeah.
He was just on 60 Minutes, getting highlighted on the State of the Blues. I mean, Kingfish has just been blowing up lately. And you know what? He's got the chops to back it all up.
Yeah, he does.
And so, I mean, his star just continues to rise. And he may be one of those people, Willie, in the blues scene that actually can kind of break through into the mainstream. You know, when his performance from Crossroads is actually released, like when the DVD Blu-ray comes out and those videos hit YouTube, I mean, that's another thing that's going to elevate him. He just performed on Jules Holland over in the UK. And, you know, that video is getting a lot of attention as well. So Kingfish, to me right now, I think he just has all the momentum. So I think he's got a really good chance at winning. I think it would be cool to see Samantha Fish and Jesse Dayton win. Obviously, they haven't won before, so I think that would be cool. I think as far as what you were saying, Willie, as far as a contemporary album, to me, like that one seems very, very contemporary. So I think that would be cool. But ultimately, I think Kingfish is going to win, and I think he would be very deserving of that.
I agree. I agree with that. He'd be very deserving. I'm still going to go with my idea that I think that the Grammys have, you know, much like the Oscars do for movies, but even more so, I feel that different factors come into play when whoever is voting, making these votes, casting these votes for the Grammys. I think there's been a lot of awards given that aren't necessarily true to the absolute title of the award. And so I don't know if Kingfish wins this, but guess what? We're going to find out.
Let's ask this question then, Willie.
Yeah.
I mean, who do people think got snubbed? Who do you think should have been nominated, wasn't there? Let us know down in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. And what are your predictions? Let us know down in the comments.